The hell are you doing in here, drinking alone? You're a metrosexual icon, man. Oh, well, look who the hat dragged in, huh? Resident Evil's golden boy, being in every single title. Well, I can't get a job since Resident Evil 6. Huh. What you talking about? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. Resident Evil 6, you're in that game with me, and the whole thing goes tits up and nobody buys it. Yeah, Resident Evil 7 comes along. Do I get a phone call? No. I was the damn poster child since Resident Evil Part 2 for this series, but do I get a phone call for Resident Evil 7? No. You get the damn thing, and it's a cameo in the last few minutes, and you got a DLC out of it. What are you talking about, man? You got the Resident Evil 2 remake, and you got the Resident Evil 4 remake coming along. That's not me, you asshole. That's the goddamn Calvin Klein underwear model, the younger Leon that they all want. Yeah, well, okay, but don't worry about it. What the hell do you mean, don't worry about it? No, don't worry about it. VRified Games, man. They've gone back to Resident Evil 6 and they got it up in VR in first person, and maybe you'll get a second chance. I don't know, you know what I mean? VRified Games? Man, I don't know. They did that thing with Resident Evil 4 and PC, and I don't know. It didn't really work. Oh, this is different, man. This is different. Check it out. Check it out.
Resident Evil 6.
Hey guys, how's it going? Cartoon Carl here, back again with another tutorial. How y'all doing? Alright. So, you want to play Resident Evil 6 in VR? Or probably you don't, because it's Resident Evil 6. But Daigo's got me looking into this, so let's pretend you said yes, and go ahead with the tutorial. Alright. Got you covered. Okay, so, first thing you need to do, go to the link in the description. Alright. Download that file. Okay. Now, go ahead and open it up. It doesn't matter whether the game is running or not, but it's not going to do anything until the game runs. Alright. So go ahead and open it up. Now, we're focusing just on first-person perspective here, but this mod actually adds a lot of functionality. And, you know, maybe some fun can be had with this train wreck of a game. You know, it's up to you. Play around with it. But, focusing primarily on first person, check out my settings. Just copy what I have, and you'll get the optimal experience. So we go into the first page, make sure your settings look like this. Alright. Then, go over to camera and make sure the settings look like this. Okay. Now pay very close attention here because there are two sub-menus. There's manual and aim. So you're going to have to look in both and enable first person for both. Just follow along what I'm doing. Alright. That's it, you guys. Oh, one little thing. When you do melee attacks, if you prefer to jump out into third person for motion sickness or what have you, leave that unchecked. If you'd rather go ahead and do it in first person, like, you know, people with iron stomachs like me and Dave, go ahead and check it. Alright, that's it. Now, for VR, go ahead and open up your Vortex. Go to Cloud Profiles, and look up the username DU1G0 and search for Resident Evil 6 First Person Mod Profile. Import that bad boy and you're ready to go. Alright. Okay, so there are some things about this implementation which is not perfect. Alright, not much we can do about it, but here it goes. The first one at least is kind of fixable, although it is janky as all hell. Alright, so the first issue. You may notice when you load into a level that maybe your head is missing, your hands are missing, some shaders don't load in. Alright, that's due to the camera manipulation and how the engine deals with it. It's a pain in the butt, but luckily there's a way around it. Simply restart the level. Now you may have to do it 2-3 times, but usually just restarting it once, back in the game, everything goes correctly. Alright. Second thing, okay, so this game, it's very cinematic. It tries to kind of emulate the sort of Hollywood Michael Bay kind of bombastic kind of formula of action movies. So you will notice at times the camera gets taken over a little bit. Now it's subtle enough that you won't notice it flat screen, but you will notice it here. Simply because the FOV gets overwritten and there's nothing we can do about it. Now it's few and far between, it doesn't happen in many places, but you will notice it right off the bat when you're playing Leon's campaign in Chapter 1. When you enter the ballroom area, the FOV gets a little bit wider, so the camera kind of zooms out a little bit. It's only in this one section of Chapter 1 that I've noticed, but undoubtedly it's going to be in other sections also. Not a whole lot you can do. It's a real shame because you notice his head and shoulders, whereas before you wouldn't. Now if you want to mitigate that, you can in Vorpex. Just go to camera height and just adjust it there, but to have to do that when you enter and leave that area, it's a pain in the butt. It is what it is. Anyway, just so you're aware. Alright, see y'all in game.
What's up, player? Yeah. And living dead talking here. Come to your live and VRified Games. How you doing, Daigo?
Hey Ed, how's it going?
Shit, I'm alright. So, what will you do today, my man? Resident Evil.
Well Ed,
6.
today we're going to take a look at the black sheep of the Resident Evil family.
Oh, Resident Evil Gun Survivor?
No, the other black sheep.
Resident Evil 5. Punching boulders and shit.
No. The other one, the one everyone hates.
Is that a weird one on the Wii?
No, everyone loves that.
You love it.
God damn it. Today we're looking at Resident Evil 6.
Oh, yeah. That was weird.
Well, yeah, it was. But, looking back, does it really deserve the hate it got?
Yeah.
But does it?
Yeah, it does, man.
Okay. Well, okay, so we do know that Resident Evil 7 was like a course correction.
Yeah.
So what did Resident Evil 7 do that Resident Evil 6 did not?
Everything better.
Okay, specifically?
And I went back to the horror roots.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Well, that's true, but you also can't ignore that it had a PS VR version,
Oh, that's right.
and that sold like hotcakes. Pretty much a system seller as far as PSVR was concerned.
Yeah, that's true.
And it changed perspective from third person to first.
Yeah. Put you right in the action.
That's right, Ed. So, taking that into consideration, Resident Evil 6, had it benefited from the power of hindsight? So let's say Resident Evil 6 was being developed now, and they know that what was successful for Resident Evil 7, and they ported that over to Resident Evil 6. Would it still be hated?
Yeah.
Well, why?
Because it's a mess, man. It's all over the damn shop.
Okay. Well, let's give it a try. Let's put it in the first-person perspective, and let's put it in VR. That's 2 out of 3, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess.
And the Leon campaign, it's the most Resident Evil out of all of the campaigns in Resident Evil 6.
Yeah, but that's my point, man. Why are there multiple campaigns? What's going on?
Alright, okay, so Resident Evil 6 comes out in 2012. Survival horror is kind of on a decline. There's not much out there. I mean, Dead Space has had its success, and it's kind of waning with Dead Space 3. There's nothing really out there in terms of survival horror. Silent Hill recently had its homecoming game, and that was kind of universally not well liked. I mean, I kind of like the melee system, but you know, it kind of went against what Silent Hill was, I guess.
You're getting sidetracked, man.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Come on. It's not over yet.
So yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, survival horror. It was hugely popular in the late 90s, early 2000s, and you know, it enjoyed its day.
Hang in there, Helena.
Right up until the tail end of the first decade of the 2000s and into the 20-teens.
I'll only slow you down. Just go.
The survival horror genre, it was starting to become stale at that point.
You're not getting off that easy. Come on.
And looking at sales in the West, action games, that's where it was at. So you had Gears of War, and I'm talking like a third-person, first-person, that kind of genre of gaming. So you had Gears of War, you had your Call of Duties, your Battlefronts, GTA was up there with GTA 4, and you know, there was other open-world titles, like Red Dead Redemption, these kind of things were on the horizon.
After all we've been through, it'd be a waste to give up now.
So Capcom was watching all this, and seeing like, okay, survival horror is not really doing well right now, but one of our big franchises is Resident Evil. But that's still doing well, thanks in no small part to the sort of reinvention of Resident Evil with Resident Evil 4. For that game it worked really, really well. It was more action orientated rather than it was horror orientated. Now the horror was still there, but it was a different kind of horror. It was more like a panic-inducing kind of dread-based horror, as opposed to the psychological what's around the corner horror that the original Resident Evil games had. So building on that framework, Resident Evil 5 comes out, and it amps it up a little bit, so it takes that action focus that Resident Evil 4 had, and it adds co-op to the mix. Now, again, this is purely a marketing thing. They were watching the market, they were seeing multiplayer games. We're starting to really, really take off, co-op, PvP, thanks in no small part to Xbox Live and PSN really kind of dominating at that time. So it was kind of a no-brainer. Let's put in some co-op in our Resident Evil here, and let's see what happens.
Let's try this way.
Now, they had previously messed around with that idea with the Resident Evil Outbreak series, which was a multiplayer on PS2.
We're almost through this.
It didn't really do as well as they had thought, but that was more of a traditional kind of survival horror type game. Would that work with Resident Evil 4? And, you know, in theory, yes, because action-oriented games really, really work with co-op multiplayer. You could see examples like Kane and Lynch, Army of Two, even Gears of War. They all had that kind of co-op experience that you could go through the campaign with a buddy, with a group of buddies. Gee, wouldn't that be good at Resident Evil? Yeah, maybe so. But in order to do that, in order to make a game co-op, an action game to boot, you have to up the action, because you've got two players to consider here. So the difficulty rises.
Let's take a break.
The action set pieces rise. So Resident Evil 5 was basically Resident Evil 4 with a new coat of paint.
There's gotta be a first aid kit in here somewhere.
And it was like hard mode plus, basically. Yeah, they took all the ideas they had in Resident Evil 4 that worked really, really, really well, and they just amped it up for Resident Evil 5. I can remember playing Resident Evil 5 when it came out and thinking, this doesn't really innovate over 4 at all. It's just more of the same, but now I can play with a friend. And I think that was a very fair assessment. I still think that's a very fair assessment. Well, nothing hugely wrong with that. I mean, Resident Evil 4 worked. You know what I mean? Resident Evil 5, however, took some really weird creative choices, like Chris punching a boulder and this kind of thing, which kind of seems so silly right now. But anyway, I got really sidetracked there, yeah. We're talking today about Resident Evil 6.
Makes me sick seeing good soldiers die like this.
So, Resident Evil 6, do you know what Resident Evil 6 is? It's like, you know, a brainstorming session when a load of writers and creative people get in a room together and they start spitballing and throwing ideas at each other and seeing what works, what sticks. And the director thought, man, all of this sticks. Let's put it all in the game.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. It's a hodgepodge.
Leon, are you there?
Hunnigan,
Good to hear you're okay. Where's Helena?
she's not doing too good. She needs medical attention.
Do you have any herbs left?
A few, but I'm not sure they'll help.
Okay, listen. Just follow my instructions.
freaking weird, man. It's like 4 games in one.
And Ed, you're absolutely right. That is what happened here. There's basically 4 separate campaigns. And they intertwine, like story-wise, but they all play really differently. So you got Leon's campaign, which is, I would say, the most Resident Evil-y out of all of them.
Hold on, Helena.
So that's why I'm focusing on that today. But then you've got Chris's campaign, which is kind of like a Gears of War, kind of Army of Two type gameplay.
Too many good agents have died here today. You're not getting added to that list.
Leon.
Damn it, out of ammo. Can't let your guard down for a second.
Which is more, you know, cover shooter, I guess you could say. And then there's this weird kind of Wesker's kid and Birkin's kid teaming up, kind of a weird sort of Devil May laugh, because this is a pitiful attempt at Devil May Cry kind of thing. It's really weird, but it's more melee based.
How do you feel?
I think I'm gonna be okay. Thank you.
Leon, what are you doing? You need to get out of there, now!
We're heading to the quad tower.
What? No, it's too dangerous.
There are BSAA agents there with survivors. I can't abandon them.
Alright. Then let me help. I'll direct you through the safest route.
Thanks, Hunnigan.
I've sent over the field guide to your PDA. You can always refer to that in a pinch.
Didn't like it. And then you got Ada's chapter, which is just batshit crazy sci-fi. I don't know what's going on in Ada's chapter. And this is one of the reasons why the game didn't work, I think, because it was so disjointed. Like, you were free to choose which one of these campaigns you wanted to play. You could jump from one campaign to another. Now, they did all intertwine, and there is an order you can play it in, but it's up to you how you want to do it. But I don't think it worked because of that. Now, had they chosen one of these campaigns and just focused on that, that could have been a really good game. But because of there's like 4 different things going on and it's all disjointed and all over the place, ultimately it didn't work. At the time, anyway.
What the hell?
It was just too out there for everyone. It wasn't Resident Evil anymore. It didn't feel like Resident Evil. It felt like a clone of all of these popular games at the time, third-person, first-person shooters, with a Resident Evil coat of paint over it. That's how it felt. Names and locations, but in name only, basically.
Okay, man, so why are we playing this today, man?
Hunnigan, can we make it to the tower this way?
Yes, just keep moving in that direction.
Well, I got to thinking, gee, how fun would it be? I mean, you look at Resident Evil 7, and we've gone over this a little while ago about how that worked versus how Resident Evil 6 didn't work. And 3 of the things mentioned was it went back to basics, focusing on the horror. It added a first-person perspective, which the original director wanted in the original Resident Evil way back in the day. We got back in here for Resident Evil 7. And it had PSVR support. It succeeded on all 3 of those fronts. Universally, all over Resident Evil fandom, people love it. People praise the first-person perspective. They praise the VR implementation. They praise the story. It's fantastic. Now, could we apply some of that retroactively into Resident Evil 6? And would that redeem it? That's what we're trying to do today. So, we have a first-person perspective, and Cartoon Carl will go over a tutorial at the beginning of the video.
They're coming out of the woodwork.
It's not that in-depth, but, it's there. Just explaining exactly how to implement this. It's not solely a first-person mod, it's basically a suppose, a cheat engine, you could say. But one of the aspects there is camera manipulation, so we're able to get it in a first-person perspective, and we're able to implement VR again through Vortex. And I can already hear people sighing out there, but guys, trust me, for older titles, Vortex is king when it comes to VR injection. This era of games just work really, really well in Vortex. The geometry tree is fantastic, positional tracking, everything works really, really well. I can't fault it.
Over here! Get in!
I really can't, you know. It's there. So that's 2 out of 3. Now, obviously I can't simplify the storyline, bring it back to its horror roots, but if we focus on Leon's campaign, which in my opinion is the most Resident Evil feeling out of all the campaigns, will it work? And surprisingly, after my time with it, yes, it does work. And no one is more surprised than I am, Ed.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm serious. The game really works in first-person perspective in VR. It really does. You see details you didn't notice before. The tension is ramped up because of that new perspective you're in. It works. What didn't work about it in flat, it works perfectly in VR. It's the weirdest thing, but I would urge anybody out there with a copy of this game, with a copy of Vortex, get this mod, this first-person mod. Try it, guys. No one's more surprised than me that this works, but try it. Trust me, at least with the Leon campaign, I had so much fun with this. Now it's, like most things I do, it's not perfect. Carl will go over some of the technical aspects about what does and doesn't work and how to get around it in his tutorial. But I had a great time with this. I would urge you all to try it. It's fantastic. The game itself is by no means a masterpiece, but this experiment of getting first-person VR with the Leon campaign, it's great. It's great. It's worth that alone. Now, the Chris campaign is not too bad either, but because it's more of a cover-based shooter with VR, it doesn't really work with the whole cover system. At least I don't think it works, because you're jumping in and out of between third and first person all the time. It's just very disorientating. Wesker Birkin campaign, yeah, it's not too bad. The storyline sucks. I just really hate the character, but VR works there, and in the Ada section it works as well. But the most fun I had was with Leon's section, and that's what we're going to show you today. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think down below. If you have any suggestions of games you'd like us to VRify, put it down below, we'll get back to you. And yeah, VRified Games out.
Yeah. VRified Games out to lunch, because you a fat motherfucker. Shit.
You alright?
Yeah. Roger. Something doesn't feel right.
Back for more?
Bioorganic weapons are a global threat. Start working with the rest of the world. We have to come to my desire to reveal the truth. I'm going to tell them everything. It might create more problems than it's time we take responsibility. We want to have any chance. I've always valued your friendship, Leon.
Stay right where you are. Mr. President! Don't make me do this.
It's all my fault. I did this.
What are you talking about?
Tolok's Cathedral. I'll explain everything there, Agent Kennedy.
How do you know my name?
Yes?
Hunnigan,
Thank God you're both all right.
how do you two know each other?
That's Helena Harper.
She's been with the Secret Service since last year. I can't tell you how good it is to hear you two are all right. Look, I hate to rush introductions, but I need a report on your situation.
I just shot the president.
What are you? He had already been infected by the time we found him. Leon did what he had to. He saved my life.
God help us. All right, I'll submit the report.
You two just focus on getting the hell out.
Out of there. The virus has already spread 3 miles past the campus perimeter, and it's not slowing down.
You need to hurry.
Not before we check out Tolok's Cathedral. Agent Kennedy's got a lead that might tell us who's responsible for this.
Leon, is that true?
Yeah, I think I might have something.
Roger that.
I'll map out the safest access route. Keep your radio on.
I got a lead?
You will if you come with me.
Adam, I'm sorry.
So what's so special about this church? You have some sins to confess?
It's hard to explain. If I don't tell you at the cathedral, you may not believe me.
You're gonna tell me everything once we get to the cathedral. Deal?
Deal.
Here too. This is getting out of control.
The power's out.
Roger.
You see one of them, aim for the head. It's your best bet.
Got it.
This is where the reception was gonna be. They'd all be here eating dinner right now if...
You think anyone survived?
I hope so. I can't believe this is happening again. It's just like Raccoon.
The Raccoon City incident. You were one of the survivors.
Yeah, I'll never forget it. We're going to this cathedral of yours. But if you really did have a hand in this, you can kiss your freedom goodbye.
I know. What was that?
Only one way to find out. Let's go. Back.
Don't shoot!
Are you all right?
The fog.
What?
The fog. It came out of nowhere. Liz! Wait, let me go!
It's too dangerous.
My daughter, she's all alone. If we don't do something...
All right, I get it. But if you don't keep it down, you won't live to save her. You understand?
Liz.
Is that your daughter? All right, let's find her.
Leon, we don't have time
We're
to...
making the time.
Liz, where are you?
What was that sound? Oh, God.
You're scared.
Who turned the lights off?
Stay sharp.
left. We need to find her. We will. Just stay close.
Thank you.
Liz! Liz! Please answer. It's your daddy, Liz.
Wonder how much time we have before these corpses are on their feet. You all right?
I will be once I find my daughter. I called her cell, but we got cut off. I know she's here, somewhere.
We'll need to get the elevator working again.
It's locked, but I work here. I've got the keys. Once we're in, we can take my car.
Thanks. Now let's find Liz and get the hell out of here.
Liz? Liz, is that you? Liz!
Dad, where are Mom and Liam?
They already got out. They're waiting for us at home.
How do we get out of this place?
The underground parking lot. The elevator is up ahead. Hopefully it still works.
Let's get this out of our way.
Roger.
I'm glad you guys were here. It's going to be okay, Lizzie. You're going to be okay.
Dad.
We're almost there. Liz?
Oh my god!
She's already gone! Shoot her!
I can't believe this.
We'll get used to it. It's either them or us. And they don't hesitate.
Why did this have to happen? I don't think we're alone in here.
Lena, grab your gun. He's dead. Let's go. That's our cue to get the hell out of here.
I couldn't agree more. Leon, it's too late. There's nothing we can do.
You're right. Let's get the hell out of here. He said it was some sort of fog. If this thing spread in gas form, then anyone who breathed it in got infected.
That would mean everyone on campus.
Yeah, but then why is it so quiet? I've got a bad feeling about this. Didn't mean to interrupt.
to the security gate. It'll lead you off the campus.